Hey guys, what is up? Reveal here, coming at you with my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Video for 2018. And rather than doing a deck profile this time, we're going to be taking a look at an archetype analysis. And we're going to be doing an analysis of one of my favorite archetypes, the Harpie ladies. Harpie ladies are actually one of the oldest archetypes in the game, and actually probably arguably the most censored archetype in the game. Every single female monster of the Harpie archetype has actually been censored from its OCG to TCG printing, which changes their original design as being based off exotic dancers and the fictional creatures from mythology to basically being creatures from the mythology who look like gym instructors. They originally appeared in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime used by popular character My Valentine, and have had relatively somewhat inconsistent support over the course of the Yu-Gi-Oh! History. They were meta at one point a couple of years ago, and they were the main reason that I wanted to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! This was the first deck I put together. I am working at building on an updated deck profile for these guys, but when that is done, I will be uploading that for you guys. So without any further ado, let's get into the analysis. The original Harpie Lady monster is a level 4 winged beast monster that is a normal monster. Her flavor text reads, "The human-shaped animal with wings is beautiful to watch but deadly in battle." She has 1300 attack and 1400 defense points. Funnily enough, the original TCG printing of the original Harpie Lady was not censored. However, after that, all future versions of the card have been censored. Due to the popularity of the monster, multiple different retrains and reprints of Harpie Lady have existed. One of the most famous versions of Harpie Lady is Harpie Lady Sisters. Harpie Lady Sisters was actually used by Mai in the anime, and could only be summoned when using Elegant Egotist. However, in the anime, Mai used the card to summon multiple copies of the same Harpie Lady. Due to how broken that would be in the actual TCG, Harpie Lady Sisters was printed as a separate card. Elegant Egotist also allows you to summon an additional Harpie Lady. Due to the impossibility of Harpie Lady Sisters being actually useful in the deck, given it is a level 6 monster, meaning it's completely different to every other level of monster in the deck, Konami also released alternate individual versions of the 3 Harpie Lady Sisters, Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of these lovely ladies shared the same effect that their names were always treated as Harpie Lady. Unfortunately, this did brick the deck at the time, as there were only 4 to 5 targets for Harpie Lady, the other being Cyber Harpie Lady. All 5 of these monsters did count as Harpie Lady at all times, limiting the amount of Harpie Ladies you could actually have in your deck to 3. Each 3 of these original Harpie Ladies, however, did have a unique special ability. Harpie Lady 1, the most viable, increased the attack of all wind monsters by 300. Harpie Lady 2, my personal favorite of the 3 sisters, negated the effects of any flip monster she destroyed by battle. Harpie Lady 3 prevented any monster that battled with her from attacking for the next 3 turns. Cyber Harpie Lady was a monster that was released as well. She is an effect monster, with the only effect being that she counts as Harpie Lady at all times. Again, like I mentioned, limiting the amount of Harpie Ladies you could have in the deck. The artwork depicts her, Harpie Lady 1, equipped with the equip spell Cyber Shield and the anime exclusive card Rose Whip. As such, however, she doesn't receive the attack point boost from Rose Whip, and in fact has 100 less defense points than all the other original Harpie Lady monsters. She is only used as a beta. Triangle Ecstasy Spark was the Harpie Lady Sisters' unique spell card at the time. It was actually quite strong, however, it did require you to have specifically Harpie Lady Sisters on the field, and it couldn't be searched, and to this day, it still can't be searched. It increased the attack points of all Harpie Lady Sisters you controlled to 2700. Your opponent could not activate any trap cards, and the effects of every trap card on your opponent's side of the field was negated until the end of the turn. A powerful card, but pretty outdated. Rather than using Cyber Shield to increase the attack by 500 points, a decent card teched into Harpies was Phalanx Pike. It increased the attack points of the equipped monster by 900 for every monster in the graveyard that shared the same name. Given that every female Harpie monster counts as Harpie Lady on the field and in the graveyard, Phalanx Pike could really quickly let the equipped monster get out of hand with attack power for the opponent. Harpie Queen was the first Harpie monster to be printed, not the first female Harpie monster to be printed that wasn't always treated as Harpie Lady, meaning she didn't add to the limit of 3 Harpie Ladies. She is the highest attack point level 4 Harpie monster, but she does have 200 less defense points than the original Harpie Ladies. She can be ditched from your hand to add the field spell Harpie's Hunting Ground from the deck to the hand. As well as that, she is a 1900 beta and a level 4 winged beast. Harpie's Hunting Ground was one of the scariest cards of all was one of the scariest field spells when it first came out. All winged beast type monsters gain 200 attack points, and whenever a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters was normal or special summoned, the player that conducted the summon can target one spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. The artwork features Harpie Lady 1, equipped with Rose Whip, attacking Ojama black, yellow, and green, another of my personal favourite archetypes, the Ojamas. The only downside to Harpie's Hunting Ground would be that if your opponent had no spells and trap cards and you had to summon Harpies, you would have to destroy one of your own. Much like the original, the Harpie Ladies also had their own boss monster, Harpie's Pet Dragon. Harpie's Pet Dragon was a level 7 dragon that was a wind archetype that gained 300 attack and defense for every Harpie Lady on the field. It had 2,000 attack and 2,500 defense points. Much like its mistresses, Harpie's Pet Dragon also received multiple retrains. The first of which is Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon. Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon gained multiple effects depending on the number of other Harpie monsters the player controlled. If the player had one or more, Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon with its attack would double. If you had two or more, the player could not select another Harpie monster for a target other than Baby Dragon or Harpie's brother, and three or more, the player could destroy any card on your opponent's side of the field once per turn. The artwork featured a baby version of Harpie's Pet Dragon and a baby Harpie Lady called Harpie Girl. Harpie Girl is one of probably the worst Harpie cards ever printed. Despite how cute the artwork depicts the little girl, she is very, very bricky. For starters, she is a normal monster, meaning that she already has no ability to be used in the deck, as well as that she is a level 2. Whilst having Harpie in the name, meaning she has some synergy with the deck via the name Harpie, she is only called Harpie Girl, meaning she doesn't count as Harpie Lady on the field or in the graveyard. And even if she was counted as Harpie Lady, even if she was a Harpie called Harpie Lady, you still probably wouldn't run her. She only has 500 attack and 500 defense. Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon is the other Harpie Lady card, is the other retrain of Harpie's Pet Dragon. It has the same stats as the Harpie's Pet Dragon, however is an XYZ material. It requires 3 level 4 wind monsters, something that Harpies were really easily able to accomplish. It gains effects only while it had an XYZ material. It could attack the opponent directly, and its attack and defense, your opponent could not target another Harpie monsters for attacks or effects, including Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, Harpie's Pet Dragon, and Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon. The artwork, much like Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon, features another Harpie holding the chain that controls the pet dragon. This monster is Harpie Channeler. Harpie Channeler, released along with Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon in the same set, is one of the strongest Harpie Lady cards in existence. She is a level 4 wind beast whose attacks and defense are the complete opposite of the original Harpie Lady. Her effect allows the player to discard one Harpie card from hand to special summon any Harpie monster from the deck in defense mode. Also, if the player controls a dragon type monster, Harpie Channeler becomes a level 7, making her the same level as Harpie's Pet Dragon, allowing for rank 7 plays. Both Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon and Harpie Channeler are featured on the artwork of Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign, when activated, allows the player to search or salvage for the spell card Elegant Egotist, meaning that only one Elegant Egotist would need to be played in the deck. As well as that, if the card would be sent from the hand or field to the graveyard other than the turn it was activated, during the end phase, the player would be able to add 3 Harpie cards from their deck to their hand with different names. This effect also helps reduce the negative effects of the field spell Harpie's Hunting Ground, meaning that this is a valid, legitimate plus target to be destroyed for Harpie decks. The lowest attack point level 4 Harpie monster is Harpie Dancer. Harpie Dancer's effect would allow for a card once per turn to target a wind monster you control, return it to the hand, and then normal summon another wind monster. Her name also becomes Harpie Lady while she's on the field and in the graveyard. She works very well with the field spell Harpie's Hunting Ground, as it allows you to get at least 2 spell and trap destructions. Also, the fact that her attack points are over 1500 made her a very difficult target to be removed by cards like Bottomless Trap Hole, would have no effect on her, as the field spell would only increase her attack power to 1400, making her lower than the 1500 needed to be destroyed by Bottomless Trap Hole. Harpie Harpist is the 3rd strongest level 4 Harpie monster. She has 1700 attack points, however she has the least defense points of every Harpie level 4 monster. She has 2 effects, only one of each can be activated per turn. The first effect allows you, when she's normal summoned, to bounce another winged beast type monster from your field to your hand to bounce one of your opponent's monsters as well. The other effect, the more useful effect most of the time, allows you to, during the end phase when she's sent to the of the turn she's sent to the graveyard, to add a level 4 winged beast with 1500 or less attack points from your deck to your hand. Normally used very well with Harpie Channeler, to discard Harpie Harpers from the hand for Harpie Channeler's effect, to special summon Harpie Harpers from the deck, activating Harpie Harpers' effect at the end of turn to add another Channeler to hand. Her other effect also, like all the other Harpie Ladies, she counts as Harpie Lady on the field and in the graveyard. The Harpie Ladies also have an interesting number of spells and traps. The most famous, of course, is Harpie's Feather Duster, which is probably where Konami got the inspiration for the Harpie Lady field spell being MST, the field spell. Harpie's Feather Duster is infamously known for being one of the most broken spell cards in the game. It destroys all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. In fact, there has only ever been one other spell card that's very much like Harpie's Feather Duster, which is Dark Magic Attack, which basically does the same thing but requires you to control a Dark Magician. Both cards are actually searchable by their archetype. Harpie's Feather Duster is currently banned in TCG, but is still legal to be played one in OCG. And it can be searched by multiple cards within the Harpie archetype, including Hysteric Sign and, by name, Harpie's Featherstorm. Harpie's Featherstorm is the very definition of a Harpie hand trap. It can be activated from your hand if you control a Harpie monster, but it also requires, for its main activation, for you to have a winged beast type monster on the field. Until the end of the turn, you can negate all effects that your opponents activate, all monster effects your opponents activate, which can really slow down a lot of current combo-heavy decks, meaning that Harpies do potentially have a lot of synergy and a lot of potential to be played. They only really need a link monster. The final Harpie trap card is Hysteric Party. Whilst this card doesn't have Harpie in its name and therefore isn't searchable by Hysteric Sign, it is one of the most valuable cards the Harpies have access to. It allows you to discard one card from your hand to activate it, and then special summon as many copies as Harpie Lady as possible from your graveyard. This card was originally printed pretty early on, before a lot of the original Harpie Lady support, but given the fact that all Harpie monsters count as Harpie Lady in the graveyard, you can potentially summon a full field of Harpie Ladies, which can be really, really good for link summoning and was used very well for Expose Z summoning. The final Harpie Lady spell card that is currently available was the first ever Harpie anime card to be printed. It was Harpie Lady Phoenix Formation, one of the two new Harpie cards that was used by Mai in Season 4 of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Its anime effect was ridiculously broken, and if it was actually printed in that way to TCG, this card would probably be run as a 3-of, and Harpies would be so much stronger than they actually are right now. If you control 3 or more Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady sisters, target any number of many monsters your opponent controls as possible, but no more than the number you have, and you can destroy them. Then your opponent takes damage equal to the attack of the highest monster destroyed by this effect. Obviously, if it's a tie, you get to choose. However, the downside to this card is you can't conduct your battle phase. That's perfectly fair, a perfectly fair downside. Unfortunately, the downside goes even further in the sense that you can't summon from your main or extra deck the turn you use this card, meaning the only valid way to get this off would be to use Hysteric Party. Harpie Lady Phoenix Formation was still a decent card, as it can still be ditched for Harpie Channeler, and can be searched by Hysteric Sign. The Harpie archetype also has two other pseudo-members. First off is Birdface, a monster that when destroyed by battle, can be add a Harpie Lady monster from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, this guy was a lot better in the old days when we only had 3 Harpie Lady targets. Unfortunately now, we want those original Harpie Ladies to stay in our deck, so we have targets for our Elegant Egotist. The other member is a normal monster called Harpie's Brother, who was eventually reprinted as Sky Scout. Sky Scout also appeared as a villain in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Anyway guys, that is my archetype analysis for the Harpie Lady deck. I love the deck. The fact that it could spam out rank 4s, rank 7s, and was MST the deck made it a very, very scary deck. I think the deck is so close to just being able to be meta again. I think that's why Konami's not really printing too much more stuff for it, or they're doing it very slowly. I would love to see them get a link monster that requires 3 level 4 wind, or just 3 wind, and have that as the artwork depicting a new form of Harpie Lady Sisters, because I love the idea of Harpie Lady Sisters, because like I said earlier in the video, I mean, Harpie Lady 2 is my favorite of the 3 Harpie Lady Sisters. I mean, my favorite Harpie Lady of all time is, I love Harpie Queen. I mean, I built the deck for Harpie Queen, so I originally, built the deck for Harpie Queen, why I have an ultimate rare of her. But I want to build this whole deck with OCG artwork because, like I said, it got censored. But I would love to see more use of Harpie Lady 2. And if Harpie Lady 2 and Harpie Lady 3 weren't so bad, or if I would run one of each of the three, but I just don't really have much of a choice. If I ever do a character duel on here, as you know, my Valentine character duel, I probably will run one each of the three just for fun. And they'll do effect, like if I use Cyber Shield, she'll turn into Cyber Harpie or something like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out my video, and I'm really working really hard to try and get these guys an updated deck profile, and when I do, I will be updating that for you guys. Until then, I will catch you for my next video.